Hands anointed, vision clear. The assignment brought us here. One chair, one client, one purpose, one king. Where yeah. I was made for more, I know my hands were chosen. Every braid, every twist, every crown I'm molding. Started with a vision, now I'm walking what I prayed. God gave me the gift, now I'm sharpening my blade. I don't move by fear, I move by faith. Every setback only built me for this place. I'm not chasing trends, I'm building legacy. What God placed inside of me is rooted in integrity. I'm called, not just talented, I'm built for excellence. Every client in my chair is another life I'm meant to bless. I'm rare, can't compare. God's hand is on me everywhere. Walk by faith, not by sight. I'm gonna shine, I'm gonna lie. Every braid, every part. God placed purpose in my heart. I don't follow, I create. Excellence is how I operate. I'm rare, yeah, I'm called. I was built to stand up tall. Hands anointed, vision clear. The assignment brought us here. One chair, one client, one purpose, one king. Where
Hey y'all, thank you for joining tonight. I'm starting a new series called Rare Conversations. And this is for stylists. Stylists looking to go to the next level, stylists looking to connect, all the things. So thank you for joining tonight. If you are in the house, go ahead and drop your city. Let me know you're in here tonight. While I pull all this together, go ahead and drop that. My name is Essence China. I am a hairstylist. Oops, I got my whole, Lord Jesus. I am a hairstylist, a salon owner, a content creator, and I love really empowering stylists. And so this is why we're here. I'm about to start doing this live show on a weekly basis. We will be here every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. I was actually supposed to be on about a half hour ago, but I had some technical difficulties. So because of that, it's a little bit late, but we are here tonight. And tonight we're going to be talking about having a client attraction system. However, we are going to be having a conversation with, there we go. I didn't realize I wasn't even clear to y'all. But we're also going to be having a conversation with someone to kind of go over what it looks like to lose clientele. I think a lot of stylists don't realize that clientele can sift through their fingers really easily if they're not paying attention to all the things, right? And so because of that, I actually recently had a friend from, he recently moved to Houston and he reattached his locks and he had a crazy experience. And so I wanted to bring him on because I feel that a lot of stylists don't recognize the simple things that they could be tweaking that could change their experience and or the things that they're doing that's also causing them to lose clientele, right? So before we get into the client attraction system, we are going to talk to him about that. And yeah, I'm ready for this conversation. So hopefully he'll be able to get on soon and we'll move into that. In the meantime, if you are a stylist that is looking to build clientele, this is exactly what I help stylists do. I recently worked with a stylist. Her name was Amber, and she went from making $600 a week to close to $2,000 a week, all because I helped her build a strategy and a system to attract the right clientele. And so she had astronomical growth within literally 2 months. And so hopefully I'll be able to have her come on the show live, but I also have some other stylists that I've been working with. And so if that is something that you were interested in, if you say, hey, Essence, I'm looking to go to the next level in my business, I'm looking to get more clientele, that's a conversation I would love to have with you. So if I don't have him come on, I'm going to go ahead and get into my presentation and then we'll just go from there. So again, thank you for joining. If you have a question, go ahead and type it in the chat. If you are in a city outside of Phoenix, go ahead and type it in the chat so I can see you. But again, I'm doing this live show on a weekly basis every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And the goal is really to help stylists. This is my life. Like, I've been a stylist. I've been in the game for close to 30 years. My salon that I founded has been open for 20 years. And so I know this industry in and out. And I see so many stylists struggle with creating their businesses, building a brand, and learning how to stand out. And sometimes it can be challenging, right? Especially if you're in, well, I hear from two different perspectives. I hear from the perspective of stylists who are in very large cities and there's a lot of competition and they find themselves feeling like invisible in their city because there's so many stylists doing what they do. And then I also hear from stylists who are in small towns and they feel as though, well, because I'm in a small town, people are not willing to pay the price because they look at it as, okay, well, when you think a smaller town, you think a lower per capita income. And because of that, it's like, okay, the prices that I would need to charge in order for me to be able to make a decent living, I can't charge those here in this city. And honestly, I found both of those scenarios to be, how do I say this? Almost a thought that we keep in our minds, or stylists that I found keep in their minds, that keeps them from being able to go past that ceiling, to breach that, right? And I say all that to say that that's a belief and that's a mindset. And if you continue to operate with that mindset, then what you say is going to be true. What you say is going to be true. And so I love to help stylists break out of that mindset, but also understand the strategies to get to the next level. And so tonight I'm going to be talking to you about client attraction. And later on, I think my guest, he may come on a little bit later. So we'll go ahead and get to this presentation. And so we're going to be talking tonight about why every stylist needs a client attraction system. Why every stylist needs a client attraction system. Right? Clearly, you want to be able to have more bookings. You want to be able to have more clients. And obviously, we need more money. We definitely need more money. Stylists, you as a stylist right now, you're probably on because you're like, Essence, something's got to change in my business. As a matter of fact, the stylist that I just mentioned a second ago, she was at the brink of closing her salon suite. When I talked to her, I asked her, I said, well, what's going to happen if your business doesn't shift, if your business doesn't change? And she was like, Essence, I'm literally going to have to close. And so we had to put together a plan very quickly as I assessed her business to find out how she could shift. And so why does every stylist need a client attraction system? Well, first and foremost, let's talk about why this is even something to even talk about. I believe personally that stylists have gifts, and because we have gifts, they are meant for giving, right? So we have this gift and this passion to do hair, and many times we're multi-gifted, we're multi-creative when we're hairstylists, and we have this desire to help others look better, feel better, and to grow. And I just believe that God has given us our gifts to multiply those, right? To help and to serve others. And so this is why it's important that you understand why you need to have a client attraction system. The second thing is because your community literally needs what you have. Like they have a need for it. And so when stylists begin to almost have this self-defeating mindset, they almost forget that there's somebody on the other end of their gift that actually needs it. Your community needs your gift more than just a bomb hairstyle walking out of your salon suite or your salon, but they need all of who you are. Yeah, they need all of who you are to help them become who they need to be. And I know that that might seem deep to a lot of people, but I honestly believe that there's so much that we impart as we do hair more than the hairstyle. Number 3, you need a system to help you serve consistently. When you don't have systems, what happens is there's a lot of randomness. There's a lot of haphazardness. There's a lot of things that don't necessarily get done, and a lot of balls get dropped because there's no system in place. And this is why you start recognizing you have inconsistency with your clientele. You have inconsistency with your income. And overall, you may get to the point where it's like, okay, I might have to go get a second job. Right? Or I might have to go do something different because this is not consistent for me. And so this is why a system is important. I just mentioned this, but we can go a little deeper. When you develop a system, what it helps you to be able to have is consistency in your clientele. Also in your income. Now, there are stylists who want to be able to have predictable income. We already know what's predictable. Our rent is predictable. Groceries are predictable. All of our lifestyle needs are predictable. And this is why your income has to be predictable as well. Well, when you build a system, this also is going to build your income, right? And so if you have questions, definitely feel free to drop them in the chat. This is really live. I'm really here right now. It's 7:12 in Arizona on August 2nd. So feel free to drop a question. But we need consistent income as stylists. And because of that, this is why we need a system. It also allows you to have less stress. You're able to have less stress as a stylist when you have things that are actually, it's almost like having a well-oiled machine, right? And you have a lot more clarity so you can be more creative. See, here's the thing. A lot of stylists don't even really realize that when they get into business, there's so many other things to think about. There's so many other things to consider, right? There's not just the hair side of things. I remember when I first started doing hair, not even when I first started doing hair, but when I moved from my apartment into like an actual salon, when I had my first storefront, then I started realizing like, oh snap, I got to have insurance. I got to do these taxes. I got, you know what I'm saying? I have to have like a recruitment system to hire stylists. Like there were so many other things. And what I find is a lot of stylists do hair well, but they don't do business well. And this is what's going to actually keep you from being able to get to the next level. And so this is why systems matter. It creates a level of predictability for your business, right? A level of predictability for your business. So let's talk about, did I skip something? I did skip something. Sorry, y'all. All right. So what's the goal? I mean, if you're in the chat right now, I mean, I would love for you to tell me what's your goal? Like what is the meaning of this all? Because sometimes you can get so lost in the rat race to where it's just like, I don't even know where I'm going. I honestly don't even have vision anymore. Like, I don't even know where the goalpost is. Well, here's the thing. Nobody's going to set that except for you. Nobody's going to set that for you except for you. So the question is, what is the vision that you have? Is it to build a thriving clientele? Is it to be a blessing to others? Is it to be a celebrity stylist? Is it to be a traveling stylist? Is it to own a salon? What is the end goal for you? It's really important to really identify these things right now in your journey, because unless you have something that you're looking forward to, it's hard to start navigating your steps. So yes, it's great to have more bookings, more clients, more income, but how do we now get to where we actually want to go to? Because those things are going to come, but where are you headed? Where are you headed? So let's talk about the real problem, because there's a real problem that actually stops stylists from the next level, from the client attraction system, and all the other things that are really important for your business. And honestly, as I coach stylists, what I start to identify is the fact that they are overthinking. They have inconsistency many times because they're overthinking. They don't know what to post, when to post, how to post. They have all these hairstyles in their phone. And I'm like, okay, so your phone, you're trying to tell me that your phone has no storage. Pause for the cause. Your phone has no storage because you are taking videos, you are taking pictures, but you've never uploaded them to the world. My question to you is like, what good is it if it stays in your phone? Like, you know you did it, but does the world know you did it? And the reason why the world needs to know that you have done these styles, because they need to know what you're capable of so they can consider you as their stylist to be with. But when we overthink as a stylist, this is what keeps a lot of styles in this place of feeling stuck and struggling and having the inconsistency, right? This is where the systems are not there. So that's the real problem. And I don't know if you're taking notes, but if you are, just go ahead and identify what is holding you back right now. What's holding you back? I don't see no questions in the chat, so y'all must be good. I don't know. But let's break down the RARE system. So as you know, my company is named Rare Essence Academy. And the RARE acronym has meaning. It has several different meanings, but in the context of building a client attraction system, there are things that you have to consider. You have to consider that you have to have reach, right? So when we think about the letter R, let's go ahead and just write down the word reach. And when you think reach, let me just come back here real quick. We think that you have range, right? When you're stretching and when you're reaching, that means that there is a lot more that you can gather up. But when you don't have reach, there's not much to gather up. So having reach is going to be important for you as a stylist, right? The second thing you need to do is understand what it means to attract. What does it mean to attract? How do you attract? What are we even attracting? The third step is, once we've attracted our clientele, our ideal clientele, are you even ready? Now, when I say, are you ready? I'm telling you, when the stylist I told you just went from 600 to 2K a week, and like, there's another issue that you have to deal with. Are you ready for the influx of clients when they begin to come? You done reached out to them, you done attracted them, but are you ready for your business to grow? And the E stands for, are you ready to execute with excellence, to give an amazing experience? Because at the end of the day, it's not just about attracting clients. No, it's about retaining them. You should get to a point where you can't even take no new clients anymore. And I want to help you get there, but you have to get to a place where you attract them first. You attract the right ones. You build a clientele. You need about 60 to 80 clients on a 4 to 6 week consistency to have the clientele that you need. If you're looking to gain 10K, if you're looking to be at about a 10K average month and or beyond, you need about 60 to 80 clients. And honestly, that's not really a lot in the whole scheme of things. A lot of clients be thinking, or stylists be thinking like, oh, I got to attract everybody in my city. No, you don't. What you need is about 60 to 80 clients that fit you, that come to you on a every 4 week, every 6 week, every 8 week, 4 to 8 week time frame. And this is what's going to help you reach your 10K months and beyond. All right, so let's talk about, I'm over here skipping stuff. My bad, y'all. Let's talk about reach. Hold up. Where I go? Y'all can't see me, huh? I don't know where it happens to me. Oh, there we go. Let's talk about reach. All right, so Actually, give me a second. I need to bring this down a little bit because it's too big. I ain't locked my screens in. Okay, there we go. So when we think about reach, the whole point of this is to be at a place where you have consistency of being seen. Think about the marketing of large corporations. Do you know how much money they put into advertising dollars? Do you know how much they understand the psychology of showing up consistently? You know, what happens is, like, because we're individual people, what we concern ourselves so much with is about the engagement. I don't think Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nike, Apple, any of those things, all they know is that, hey, we put this ad out there. There's going to be more people that see us, more eyeballs on our business, more exposure to our business, which is going to bring people in. But again, going back to the overthinking, what prohibits a lot of stylists from being seen or from having the reach is the fear of being seen and the constant overwhelm and overthinking. I just need an amen in the chat if that's you. I don't know if that's you. It may not be. But you want to get to a place where you're being consistently seen. Why? Because you need to stay at the top of your prospective client's mind when they're ready to make a decision. You don't even realize there are so many people. Hold on, let me just get the camera up on big. There are so many people being scammed right now, which is mind-blowing to me. And why do I bring that up? Okay, so in my salon right now, I can't tell you how many people have come in and said they had an appointment with us because somehow or another, somebody online posted a hairstyle, said they do hair, and sent them, they took a deposit from them online from this person. And then this person, they gave them our address. They give them Rare Essence Studio. So the prospective client comes into the salon, they sit on the couch, they try to check in, and we're like, we don't see you on the calendar. And they're like, hold up. Well, I booked with somebody on Instagram. And I'm like, you sent your money to somebody you didn't even meet based off of their marketing? Like, if you got fake stylists taking appointments, getting money, what is real stylists doing? That's a real question. We got fake stylists, people making fake profiles, stealing other people's pictures, taking deposits. They got the boldness to take deposits, but then here it is, an actual stylist is afraid to promote themselves, and they not even scamming. They doing the real thing. I need this to make sense. But going back to what I'm saying, I'm going all off my notes. You need to stay at the top of the mind, right? And so there is this, you can write this down if you want to, TOMA, T-O-M-A, TOMA. What does it stand for? Top of mind awareness. Top of mind awareness. So immediately when someone thinks box braids, they think of Kayla. When somebody thinks of locks, they think of Janae. When somebody, like, your name needs to be synonymous with what you do, which means you got to show up consistently. And when you become visible, you create an opportunity for yourself to be chosen. If you're looking to be the number one top stylist in your city, then you got to show up like a star. And what I tell stylists all the time, and this might be a hard thing to hear, but it's the truth. If you're not booked right now, that means you have time. And if you have time, then you need to be looking all through your phone, all through your Rolodex, getting those pictures, getting those videos, and saying, you know what? I need to get this out of my phone and online so somebody can find me. If you have time, then you need to allocate that time to marketing yourself. I can't tell you how many styles I have coached, and it's almost like what are we doing? You want clients, you know what it takes to get them, but there's like this block. And so this is where we got to pray. We got to cast out some demons. We got to figure out like what's really blocking you, because like we know what we need to do, but we're not doing it. Right? You need reach. All right. Now we got to understand what it means to attract. What does it mean to attract? I need some crowd participation. What does it mean to attract? Ask yourself, am I being conscious about what I'm attracting into my business? Think that through, because the more dialed in you get with one, who you are, who you serve, and how you want to serve, it's going to change the game for you. A lot of stylists are having issues with attraction because they don't have clarity. They don't have clarity on their identity, right? They don't have clarity on their gift, who they're actually called to serve. Just because everybody has locks doesn't mean that everybody has locks is supposed to be your client. We have to have clarity. So when you have clarity, you can call in your ideal clients. You can call in your ideal clients. But you have to understand what that means. This means you have to take a deep assessment of your business, a deep dive of who you really are, who do you want to serve, how do you want to show up? Because I think sometimes when you look at it from a general perspective and just say, well, I do locks, that ain't enough. You have to make it clear. And then you have to understand how to show the results. How to show, not just show. I can't tell you, like I'm gonna play this in a second, but it's not just about showing up. It's how you show up. Because when you show up, that's the first step. That's the reach. Now you have to stand out. How do you stand out? This is about being rare. This is about attraction, right? Moving on. So the second R, which is the third letter, you got to get ready. You have to be ready. We're talking about building a client attraction system. There is a way in which you can like pre-engineer, reverse engineer to where you can have predictable clientele, predictable income. But you have to be ready to receive. When you begin showing up and you align your brand in the way that it needs to be, you put out a clarion call, them clients going to be coming through the door. When I tell you, when I bring on some more of these stylists I've been working with in the next couple of weeks, they're going to tell you how many clients they've been getting online because they understand, they have clarity now. But you have to be ready to receive when the walls of Jericho fall down. When they fall down, they going to come through. Because they've been looking for you this whole time, but they couldn't find you. Sometimes they couldn't find you because you wasn't showing up. The other times they couldn't find you because you weren't standing out. But when you get clarity, you're going to begin to stand out. And I always say this to stylists. I'm like, really quick. I am a little black girl. Well, when I first got started. From Glendale, Arizona, y'all. Glendale, Arizona. Some of y'all never even heard about Glendale, Arizona. Like, if you heard about Arizona, you heard about Phoenix, and you probably heard about it from Waiting to Exhale. If you haven't traveled here. Like, Arizona is 6% black. Phoenix. But because I began to put myself out there and I began to stand out, it opened up doors for me as a stylist, as an educator, as a coach, because I have clarity. And the more you get clarity, the more you're going to be ready to receive. Right? So you have to be ready to receive. In being ready to receive, you have to make your booking process simple. It's got to be simple. People, listen, we in a day and age where the attention spans of people. You can even ask yourself, like you can see yourself scrolling online and how long you stay on a post. Imagine your clientele being that way. So if it's challenging them for them to like find out what the link is, how to get back in contact with you, they're moving on. Unless you're just a standout stylist, they're moving. And even when you are that, like you still got to be on point. And then you have to have a clear process. Again, because if there's confusion, people going to move on. So you have to have a clear process. And so even as I'm telling you this, I want you to start thinking through all the things in your business and how these things actually flow. You have to take a deep assessment of who you are first and foremost, because I always tell stylists, your business, one, is a reflection of you, and your business can only grow to the extent that you do as a person. And so the deeper that you take a look at yourself and understand yourself and recognize the same habits I have in my real life, I'm bringing into my business. How do I change? What things can't go into what are we in August of 2026? Now, the fourth part of building a client attraction system, this starts getting into retention. And this is what I mentioned to you about having excellence. Having excellence. And as you have excellence, this is what's going to really shift things for you, because what you don't understand is that there are a lot of different stylists, but not a lot of stylists. They might have standout work, but they may not have standout service. I can't tell you how many people who have come from different parts of the world and they have come to Rare Essence and they're like, I have not had service like this. And I'm thinking to myself, like, there's a standard. And so when you actually have a standard for yourself and for your business, it is going to show, and it's going to make you not just attract the clientele, but actually keep them. If you have clients and it's like a revolving door, they come and then you never see them again. They may even like their hair, but then you never see them again. Then we have to start looking deeper. We can't continue to point the finger and blame the client and say, well, I don't know why they're not coming back. Okay, no, we need to do a deep dive. We got to do a deep dive and figure out what actually is taking place in your business. So I love to sit with stylists and to really do like inventory to figure out, okay, let's do an audit of your IG. Let's do an audit of your customer journey. Let's do an audit of when they hit the chair. Like, what's actually happening? Because people, they'll come and they'll get their service. And if they have an unfavorable experience, they may not even say nothing. They may not say nothing at all, but they may say it outside. And so this is why it's really important to make sure that you have an experience that wows them, that just blows their mind to where it's just like, oh my goodness. Right? So you want to deliver what you've promised. You want to deliver what you've promised, and you want to make sure that you create such an experience. Again, it's not about the hair. There's an overall experience that you are creating for your potential clientele that is going to make them want to come back. It's like, man, not only did I love my hair, but I love the vibe. I loved the atmosphere. I love the conversation. Now, obviously, it's going to be based on who you are, but these are the things that you have to take into account. All of these things create your customer experience. And so, funny enough, hold on, I don't know if I got some more, but I actually have a couple more things I want to go over with you all. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be going live every week. Every week. I love one, to speak and to empower and to help stylists. And this is going to be a show where I'm going to be talking to stylists and bringing them on, and we're going to be having some great conversations. So I'm really excited about that. And let's just see. But tonight, I actually have a guest that I'm going to be bringing on, and we're actually going to be continuing this conversation. But you really want to have an experience. And so you may even have to start thinking through, all right, let me put myself in the seat of my potential client. Like, walk through your own customer journey. Like, think about it. If I was on the other side and I was trying to book with me, if I was trying to get my hair done by me, like what experience would I really have? That's going to be really telling for you. It's really going to help you to start thinking about things differently. And so if you're struggling with clientele, these are the things that we have to really consider. And I really believe that as you begin to make adjustments in your business, things are going to change for you. They're definitely going to change for you. So in the meantime, I'm going to run this commercial really quick. I'm going to be right back once we get our guest in. I'm going to be on for a minute, y'all. So feel free to comment. I would love to answer your questions. And I'm not sure if any of you all are in my community. I do have a community where of stylists from all over the world. If you're not a part of that community, I definitely would recommend that you join that. I also have a challenge, as a matter of fact. Let me just bring that up in the meantime, between time. I do have a challenge coming up. It's called the Book Stylist Challenge. It's going to be September 7th through the 9th. We're going to get on live every day for 3 days, and we're going to be in Zoom, and we're really going to be breaking down day to day how to market yourself, right? How to set yourself apart and attract the right clientele, and how do you get to consistent 10K months and beyond. I put 10K as like a number because a lot of the stylists that I work with, they tend to be in between that 2 to 3 to 4 range. And so we can get them for sure to another level. And so I'm going to go ahead and play this really quickly.
If you're looking to achieve flawless styles like this right here, these parts.
My bad. I didn't mean for that to go there that quick. But I'm going to play this for you all really quick, and then I'm going to be back on. So make sure you hang on because I definitely have some more information. But, in the meantime, let me actually pull that up real quickly. Where is that at? Actually, I don't even see it. So if I can't pull it up, but yeah, I will have that challenge be coming up. I think I actually deleted it. So you can go to rareessenceacademy.com/challenge, rareessenceacademy.com/challenge if you're looking to get into that challenge. And so I will be right back, y'all. So really quick, let me do the math. You said you went from making about $600 a week to close to $2,000.
Yes.
So in essence, you went from making $2,400 to $2,500 a month to almost $8,000 a month.
Yep.
In 2 months.
I'm pulling in my house rent weekly. I've been posting for years, but wasn't posting the right way.
Now, Amber is one of the stylists that I've been coaching over the last couple of months, and she was averaging around $600 a week. And today she's averaging around $2,000 a week, which is $8K a month. Now, here's the crazy part. She's still not fully booked. So that means she still has room in her books. She did not go viral. She didn't even spend thousands of dollars on ads. She just learned how to position herself and attract the right clients. If you're wondering if it's possible for your business, maybe this is exactly the right encouragement that you need. Click the link below and book a discovery call with me. I would love to help you build a strategy that's designed specifically for you and your business. All right, y'all. So really quick, I just wanted to read this written testimony from Amber as well. And she says, "The tools you have given me really work. I have always been skeptical when I saw other people offer the type of programs you offer. But when God said this was the one, I took the leap of faith, and I'm so grateful I did. I only started your program 2 months ago, and look at the growth. It's like you helped to unlock a part of me that needed to be open for God to do more work in me. What God has for me is for me, and He definitely has something for you, Essence. You are walking in your purpose. Thank you for your obedience and the love of Yahweh." Just wanted to share that with you as well, just to help you see that there are stylists who are actually making changes in their lives, making changes in their businesses, and this can also happen for you too. If you're dealing with anything concerning your business where you're having an issue with growing, you may feel stuck, and you need help, I want you to apply to my program. Now, my program helps you gain 20 to 30 new clients within the next 90 days without the use of ads. The main thing is client attraction. I'm going to help you develop a client attraction system. We're going to go over your pricing. We're going to look at all the important things for your business to grow. So I look forward to your application coming through. In the meantime, Check out the next video. And I'm back. And I'm back and I'm back and I'm better. All right, so I'm just waiting on my guests to come on. I thank you all for joining tonight. As I have mentioned before, I'm about to be here on a weekly basis, going over topics that actually pertain to stylists, helping them grow. And yeah, just talking. I also have a Bible study. I actually have a I have another channel, and I do Bible studies every Monday on my other channel. So that is something that you are more than welcome to join. My other page is Essence China, and Monday nights, same time, 6:30 p.m. 6:30 on my side. I'm in Arizona, so it's 9:30 on the East Coast time. That's crazy. Okay, I'm trying to get my guests in. I think we still having issues. So let me just see. Let's see. Feel free to go ahead and drop some questions too, because I can see your comments. I can definitely see your comments. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this on because this is acting crazy. If you are a stylist right now, tell me, are you part-time? Are you full-time? Are you just aspiring? Are you looking to build? Like, what part of your journey? There are a lot of different stylists at different parts of their journey. Some are on their way out the door. Some have already been doing it for so long that it's just like, yeah, I'm somewhere else. I'm ready to go do something different. So let me know where you're at in your journey, because that's also going to help me craft the content that I'm going to be making as we move forward with this particular live, the Rare Conversations. Y'all must be shy in the chat. Are y'all shy in the chat? No, I am. I know we only got a couple people on. I sent out an email, but then I had to change the link. So I know that also affected some things, but y'all ain't got to be scared. Y'all can talk. I'm going to try to get him on one more time. Let's see. New interview settings. Because this interview is really about to be very entertaining. Try a new browser. So if you just now came on, you probably have to watch the replay. I just went over building a client attraction system for stylists. And I find that a lot of stylists just don't have, it's almost like it's just, how do I say it? Like it's shooting in the dark. If there's no intentionality, then you're going to get random results. There has to be intentionality. I even teach this to stylists that when I'm actually teaching how to braid. Stylists don't halfway know what they're doing with their fingers. They don't even know, like they don't even realize that there's a rhythm, there's a system, there's a pattern to everything. And the more intentional you are, the more detail that you put into a thing, the more predictable results you're going to get. If you know what your fingers are doing when you do a braid, then you're going to have really clean and crisp looking hairstyles. But if you're like, sometimes you think you know what you're doing, so you just do it, but you're not thinking through how to do it. And that's the same way with building clientele. Like you got to really look at the foundation of it all and say, okay, I'm only making $2,000 a month. Let's just throw a number out there. I don't know what you're making. Why is that? How long have you been doing hair? If you've been doing hair for more than 2 years and you're still at the same income amount, then it shows that something is off, something is broken. You know, when I was coaching one stylist, and honestly, what I found out, like we combed through everything. What I found out was that her environment was the issue. Her environment was the issue. What do I mean by that? You know, I used to work, I done had a lot of different seasons as a stylist. And in one season as a stylist, I was working at a barbershop. I was living in Maryland. I was working at a barbershop. And I was very young in my journey. I might have been in my early 20s. And I did really, really well. Like my styles was, I mean, when I look at the hairstyles now, they probably wasn't as good as I thought they were. But they was like, I was popping. But the reality is that while I was popping, the environment that I was in that season brought about a certain type of clientele. There were some clients that did not feel comfortable going into in that environment. And so what I end up doing is I end up splitting my week between a barbershop and a hair salon. And I realized that being in a hair salon just shifted everything for me. And I was just like, okay, well, so what's the difference? They're getting their hair done. But there's something about an atmosphere that will change and dictate what type of clientele you're going to attract. And I get it now, but at the time I didn't understand it. I'm like, okay, so why am I getting a different clientele here? And I recognize I can even serve them differently here because of the amenities that this may be. And so when I was coaching a stylist and she was kind of telling me about the environment, I started to realize, like, number one, your clients aren't comfortable, but you're not either. You're not either. And so you almost have to start to assess, okay, let me look at my salon. Let me look at my suite. Are there windows? Does it feel boxed in? Have I set an atmosphere? Have I created an ambiance? What type of music is playing? All of those things play a part in how your clientele is going to respond to you. It may seem very simple, but it's the reality. It's the truth. I'm so sad. I really want to get my guest on, and he's telling me that he's having issues with jumping on. And I don't know no other way to do it. I'm waiting for y'all to drop me some questions in the chat. But y'all must not have no questions. Y'all shy? Y'all gonna have me over here rapping or doing some poetry in a second. New interview settings. Okay. If not, I'll just have to bring him on next week because I done copy and pasted the same link to him about 20 times. Okay, I guess not tonight. But again, y'all, I will be here every week, 6:30. Based on what you all, whatever feedback I'm getting is going to dictate, what type of content that I put out. Again, I typically serve stylists that have yet to make it to 10K a month. And my system and my framework is really to help stylists get to that place, right? And I always say, if you do the work, it's going to work. If you work it, it will work. I think the other part of it is a lot of stylists already know what to do. They're just not doing it. That's like the gym right there. All you got to do is probably walk, on the treadmill for about a good 40 minutes, 30 minutes. You know what you need to eat, but you're just not doing it. But there's something about having a trainer. There's something about having someone walk alongside you to hold you accountable. And it's also something about being around other stylists that are making the same steps and they're seeing results. Because at that point, it's like, dang, if it's working for her, then it has to work for me. And what I find with a lot of stylists is that it's really a belief issue. It's really, do I believe in myself enough to put in the work? Do I even believe that I can even earn 10K and beyond a month? Because when you start looking deeper into those questions, that really begins to help you understand why there's this self-sabotaging behavior. Why is there this procrastination? Is there some childhood trauma? Is there some things that is blocking me that I'm not even conscious of? But if I sit down and I take the time, I probably would be able to realize what it is. That requires some depth. That requires some introspection. And so along with my coaching, I have stylists really sit and ask themselves some deeper questions to find out what the block is, because we think it's, I don't have clients. But when we go back and we dial back into it, it's a lot of other things that's deeper than that. You know, I talk to people and they be like, well, I can't stand my voice. Or I mean, there's so many negative things that stylists have about themselves that actually keep them from going to the next level. There's one stylist, she came to the academy and she was learning how to do hair, and she just kept on talking about how fat her fingers were. And I'm like, I'm just speechless, because I seen a lady braid with her toes. And I'm not even being funny. Y'all probably can go. You can probably go look that up on YouTube somewhere. Type in or ask chat, like, show me the lady that be braiding with her toes. So if somebody could braid with their toes, how am I making excuses about my fingers being fat? Where there's a will, there's a way. So when there's all of these negative, defeating thoughts, we have to understand that the way that we believe is the way that we behave. The way that we behave dictates what we're going to behold. If you look behind me, that pink sign says, believe, behave, behold. Let me go this way. Believe, behave, behold. Or believe, behave, become. Contingent on what you think about yourself. If you think that there's just no way that you can earn 10K a month, 20K a month, whatever it may be, you will be that. And I hate to say it, but it's really the truth. The Bible says, as a man and or woman thinks in her heart, his heart, so is he, so is she. That means that there are some deep-seated, deep-rooted thoughts that we can carry about ourselves that dictate what we can do. So you want to earn 10K, you want to have consistent clientele, you want to even build a system, but there's something that just keeps on just blocking you. No, we got to dig deep. We got to dig deep. And for anybody who has been around me, my brand, for any amount of time, y'all know I'm a believer. And so there are strongholds that have to be cast down. They have to be broken up. And so we wonder why our businesses aren't excelling. But then we also have to look at what are the building blocks. What are the building blocks? Hold up. Hold up. I ain't even see y'all. I didn't even know y'all was commenting this whole time. I had the wrong thing up the whole time. What are the building blocks? And so when you start looking at the things that actually create who you have become, that's what's going to change it for you. That's what's really going to change it for you. So now that I can see the comments, whole time y'all have been commenting and I ain't even seen it. Feel free to drop it in the chat. Yeah, man, I was really looking forward to this. I probably could end this live and try again, but I don't really want to do that. So if I'm not able to get this this link out, then I won't be able to. Otherwise, y'all just gonna be looking at me. I'm looking at y'all. Y'all looking at me. Again, my name is Essence China. I'm the founder of Rare Essence Academy. I teach stylists how to grow their businesses, but not just like when we think grow business, like we don't even have like a real practical sense of what that is. In a practical way, I help stylists gain 20 to 30 new clients in the next 90 days without using ads. I just help them show up. I help them go through their phone, figure out what they need to post, right? How to start capturing content the right way, how to start positioning yourself, because it's important about positioning, and how to post. And then we work on the back end of this customer journey. And then I do a deep dive and a fine tooth comb to understand what this experience that they're having. How can we make this experience better? And then we look at the prices and we start looking at, okay, where could we have a little leverage? How long does this service take you? All right. How can you get faster with your speed? Number one. And then how can we begin to start charging premium prices? And then we look at the 10K, the 10K strategy to begin to reverse engineer. All right. So if we need to make 10K for the month, that means we need $2,500 for the week, which is $500 for the day. How much are your services? All right. So if your services are $150, that means you need about 3 to 4 clients a day. All right. How do we start attracting these three? Like, it's simple. And what I mean by it's simple is once we begin to reverse engineer, we start to break down the idea that it's so hard. Oh, I just got to get 3 clients a day. All right. Well, that means how many times you got to show up on social media? What do you need to be posting? How do you need to be showing up? And when you begin to do that, it changes everything for you. Now, you might be saying, Essence, okay, some of y'all may not have even met me before, but I have grown my business pages to over 100K, my personal page over 30K. And this is just by showing up. And the reality is I haven't even posted on either of my pages consistently in over a couple of years. So it would be much more if I was consistent. I understand what it takes to grow a brand. I understand what it takes to grow a stylist, because again, you have to grow individually first. So when I start understanding and we start doing a deep dive on what are the blocks, sometimes a lot of stylists, again, they just overcomplicate things. There was another stylist I was working with, and she didn't necessarily have her customer journey figured out. And when I began to ask her what was the procrastination and what was the thing that was holding her back from like taking the next steps, I started to realize like, oh, she sees this as a hurdle. So it's hard for her to take the next steps. And then when I was like, oh, we ain't got to do that. We just do this. And then we was able to get her customer journey straight to where now she doesn't have to even be involved in it. When you get into automation, it simplifies everything for you. It takes your hands off of things. But when you're doing everything, it is going to feel like, man, not only am I not even, I'm not even booked and I'm burnt out. Now, it's one thing to be booked and burnt out. It's another thing to not even be booked. It's another thing to not even be booked. Now, the goal is to get you booked and not burnt out. But if you're burnt out and not even booked, like something got to change. Something got to change. So, let's see. You know what? This whole time, he might be right. He said he in the waiting room. I'm like, what waiting room? I don't see no waiting room. So tonight we talked about developing a client attraction system. And there we go. I got my guest on. We talked about I had to refresh the page. My bad. I'm sorry. So I'm about to bring him on in a second. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and assign you the guest. So we talked about having a client attraction system. We also talked about the 4 parts of the framework. One, you have to have reach, which means that you need to be able to be out there where people can see you, right? You got to have the reach. Then you got to have the attraction. That you gotta show up as the person that's going to be able to help your ideal client. Like you gotta be able to attract. Then you got to be ready, because once you attract, they're going to be running down your door. Are you ready for that? And then after you attract, you got to be able to execute with excellence. You got to be able to give them the wow experience. And so that's the framework that I work with to help stylists go from no clients to more clients. All right, so we about to bring on my homeboy Jamal now. Let me just give you a backstory, y'all. So Jamal, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being patient. I felt out what I needed to do. I had to do something different. But I was like trying to be live, trying to entertain, trying to talk, and trying to work it out at the same time. So, but now, okay, so Jamal is a former client, and he called me a few weeks ago and told me about his lock. I want to call them lock extensions. I'm sorry. Go ahead, correct me.
Lock reattachment. Say it with me. Lock reattachment. Continue.
So Jamal got his locks reattached, right? And this kind of flowed right in from talking about having this client attraction system and understanding what it means to not just attract, but to retain clients, right? So you can build, because it ain't nothing if you attract them and they never come back. Like you just got what they call that, a revolving door. No, you want to attract and you want to retain. And as you retain, what that's going to do is you're going to get to your 60 to 80 consistent clients that come every 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. That's all you really need. But when you have clients and you dropping a ball, this is the problem. So I brought Jamal on because he recently got lock reattachment. Sorry, not lock extensions. These are locks that were already his that he kept for years. And you can go ahead and tell me what it is. But and so he had an experience, and I think it's so important that stylists hear this from the opposite side, because a lot of times stylists don't even understand. It's the minutia. When you master the basics, it's going to change everything for your business. But if you don't even pay attention to the minutia, clients are having experiences that they may never tell you about, but they may tell Yelp. They may tell me, they may tell another stylist, they may tell another person, like, don't go over there because this is what happened. And so Jamal hit me up and told me his experience. His hair looks amazing, right? Now, I didn't get to see it up close and personal because he's in Houston and I'm in Phoenix. But he called me and asked me a question, which I thought was bizarre. He was like, how long should lock reattachment take? And I just was like, wow, what's going on? So he ended up beginning to tell me the story. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the ball, but I do just want to set it up just so you could share the story. So he went and had an experience, and he kind of even told me from jump, he was like, if I look back, there were signs. And anytime that you have a bad experience with somebody, can we say that we was blind to the signs? Can we say that it was already there, but we wasn't trying to see it? We were so eager to go ahead and get something done or to do whatever that we dropped the ball, we missed it, and then here it is. We done got burnt. We done got our money stolen. Something happened. Well, Jamal ended up saying that he did have an experience, and now when he looks back, but let's talk about this. You went somewhere in Houston. Tell us the story.
Oh, no, I'm live. All right, finally.
Let me mute myself. I'm gonna just mute myself.
Nah, ain't nothing. You ain't gotta mute yourself. It's all love. It's all love. After your 15th time trying to send this link, what I mean. But it's all good. It's all good. Okay, I'm glad that this time around that you got it correct. This is lock attachment, not no extension, not no full locks. This is mine, all mine. Okay. All right, let's move on. So anyway, where I should start? All right. I don't know how long I have, so I don't know how long.
Listen, don't be telling no long-winded story. Tell them like the issue.
All right. Okay. So
No, I'm saying you
see,
can tell it.
this,
Tell
this
it.
is
Feel
no. This is
free.
this is why no. This is why you use the host. You gotta let me know so I can know where to phrase it and put it. So anyway, so yeah, so I mean, as you said, I reached out to find out, but it was like finding out after the fact of having it done because I think this was what y'all gotta understand. This was like in alignment with my birthday as well, and I was trying to have a celebration on that time. Another thing that you need to know is that I called or I did a consultation ahead of time to find out like hey how long the process is going to take. No, actually no, scrap that. I call ahead of time to see hey this is my hair now, and they try to give the texture blah blah blah. I laid out all the dreads on the sheet. It was white. I tried to give as much contrast as possible. Like I'm thinking for the hairstylist per se because again I'm thinking that hey um this is what they do, etc., etc. But before I dive in again, I just want to say, for me, is like this is no knock to the people. Them. This is more of me saying, hey, as a business, you kind of have to cater for your clients. Treat your clients as though they number one, they the best, whatever, whatever, so that they would one refer you to other people because to be honest, the way that it was referred to me was through somebody else who didn't actually get their hair done, but they saw somebody else who got like their friend had gotten their hair done and they didn't ask their friend about the experience or whatever. We were just judging it based by what it looked like. And I was like, oh, damn, this person knows what they're doing. And in fact, when we did have the conversation over the phone, well, over FaceTime, it was great. It was great. The person made me feel comfortable enough that I was like, hey, I'm willing to, at the end of the conversation, willing to invest my $300 at a time and then pay because it's per hour or something like that. So I was willing to take my time and say, hey, I'm putting aside this money and I'm doing this thing or whatever. So the story goes basically that um,
I want
we
to pause
decided
really
that
quick because I feel like a flag right there was why didn't she do a real in person consultation? But moving on.
I no, that's the other part that I didn't bring up to you because to me, in order to feel texture, you can't see you can see texture and have your own interpretation. And I mean, like when we talked about it before, it's like when you as a stylist, y'all are also in a way where you're able to I wouldn't say pattern, but y'all in a way that y'all can make things look the way that it's not supposed to look. So somebody who's balding, you're able to make them look like if they're not balding, depending on how much hair they have or whatever, whatever. But y'all are like I would call it it's like mastery of the hair, but it looks a certain way, right? Where people when they see it, they're like, oh damn girl, I didn't believe you had all that hair, whatever, whatever. So meaning that I would have thought a consultation would have come in person because I don't know how much what the eye sees versus what the hand feels, right? Something could look thick, but when you actually straighten it out, it could be very thin, the ends could be whatever. Now, again, I don't know as much as I know, but I just kind of try to put common sense together. So, mind you, I this was in hindsight. I didn't know the people live like 12 minutes away from me. So I was like, well, I thought that we could have gone in and just like literally feel the hair, like give me some really good context or whatever. I was like, all right, cool, no worries. This is probably how they do it. They're doing this for 12 years. Their eyes have macro vision, their eyes X-ray vision. They know what's up. I said, all right, cool. I ain't judging nobody by nothing. I'm gonna do it. All right, cool. So anyway, so I was supposed to do the reattachment, um but the way that we did it, we was like, all right, here what's going on. I told them like I want to have all the money up front because I don't want to have any kind of discrepancies or whatever. I don't want to put down the money here and then 2 months later, like I want to have all the money up front. So first of all, I was asking, can you give me like an estimate of how long it will take? And it was like very kind of fishy. It was like, well, it takes as long as it takes. And I was like, I don't know what I mean. Because nobody as a customer would want to know, hey, I'm coming here to do my hair. And before you know it, I have a $12,000 bill. No, I mean, I'm just exactly. My point is, nobody wants to be surprised with something at the end. They want to be able to come in, look, know that they're looking scrappy, but by the end they're looking good, and we're gonna shell out that money. Hey, you get your thing, I get my thing, we good. But I didn't get that. So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, could you give me like an estimate, a ballpark? Well, it just depends per hour. Your hair is different. No, that's what I'm saying. Could we not meet and reel so that you could feel the hair, get an estimate of how you're gonna part it and whatever, and see how much it's gonna take. Because I don't want to not walk with the amount of money that it will take for your service. I don't know. All right, cool, fine. So anyway, that was the week before. Then the next week now, because I went on a trip and I told them when I come back, I will have the money and I'll talk to them. So I ended up speaking with them and they were like, hey, could you remind me of who you are? This was literally the next week. So I spoke to them on the Thursday. Let's say, yeah, I spoke to them on the Thursday. And then on the Thursday of the next week, I hit them up and I was like, hey, could you give me, this is the guy from Trinidad. I don't even know how much people have my accent, but I was like, yo, this guy from Trinidad, could you give me a, estimate of do you have the time? Because mind you, they told me to follow up with them, tell them when they told me to hit them up when I get back and everything. So I hit them up and they were like, hey, could you remind me of the conversation? I was like, damn, all right. So I'm explaining everything. And I ain't gonna lie, this was another red flag for me. When I actually told them, I was like, hey, this is me, this is the person, they're trying to remind themselves of the conversation or whatever. And they were saying, hey, you're telling me about all these other things, but tell me about what you're trying to get done to here. I was like, hey, but in my text, I already told you I'm trying to get the reattachment. So I don't know what more am I supposed to say about the situation for you to remember who I am. I don't know. Anyway, so we saw that out. Cool. Right. We put the date down. Now, this is important. When I said, hey, I want to know if I can do it on the Saturday because I have an appointment or I have a dinner to go to at 7:30 or whatever the case is. I say, yo, I have somewhere to be. So could I even lied and I say, hey, could I get it done? I think before 6:30 so I can give myself a little buffer just in case, just to give some more time. They were like, yeah, come true. That was me talking on the Thursday and that was me planning for the Saturday. All right, cool. So I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of late. I was late, it was 9:30. I pulled up, but the appointment was supposed to be 9. They said, come as early as you could. I said, all right, I will come at 9 or whatever. Cool. Now, when I pulled up, the place was beautiful. Mind you, the place is, and this is no knock. This is somebody who's having their thing at home. I didn't know it was a home because the advertisements, everything seemed on lock. They have all the advertisements, all the social media thing on lock, and everything was great. Pulled up in the place looked beautiful. Place was lovely, commented on how lovely the aesthetics is. Why when I walk in to the room now to do my hair is a bunch of trap music. This is 9:30 a.m. in the morning. Trap music, P this, P that, gun this, gun that, po. What I was like, whoa, yo. I expecting some kind of, I expecting some, because the feng shui of the place was going this way. But the music of the place going that way. I'll even get you this. The place, when I was reading, it had when I was doing my hair and stuff, it had this thing where it says, be careful. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but it had something about be careful of the vibes that you bring into this place. But I'm like, you don't see what kind of vibe you create in here. You twist up my head. You have my head on mad because you mess up my head because you had this lovely, lovely feng shui. As I say, beautiful place. I commented, I told them I love the place. Look good because I'm thinking, hey, I'm about to get my head massage and stuff. But that's what it's feeling like. It feel like a essence spa. But then when I walk inside, trap music, this gun, that, and I was like, yo, this is too early for this, yo. Now, that was part one, right? The room is smaller, so the reverberation of the TV that was playing the music, it was just blasting. And when I'm actually trying to have a conversation with the hairstylist to let them know, to ask them questions about maintenance, just to ask them things and create a conversation, because guess what? As a client, you're trying to get to know the person that's doing your hair because you want to make sure that they know what they're doing. Not to mention you're trying to get a sense of personality as well too, because again, one, you're in somebody home, but then at the same time it's a home business. But the balance of it wasn't like, well, I wouldn't say it wasn't like, I would say that it was feeling like it was a home business, but it more catered for home. So you had to watch how you bring your vibes into their place. You had to watch how you talk in their place. You had to watch how you, I mean, I keep stretching it, but how you dress or how whatever. But it was like, suppose I was an older lady that came there, or a person, a son, or whatever the case is. I pulled up there and y'all blasting is P this, P that. And again, you can put in the P and you can fill out the rest of the words, right? P this, P that, gone this, gone that. And hey, when I left there, I knew about 10 new trap artists that I didn't even know about. Right? I knew about the inner workings, about the underground when I left there. Right? And when I was trying to have a conversation to ask certain things, the music was so loud you didn't even have the audacity to pause it, to lower it down. The fact that you couldn't hear me, the fact that you hear that I have an accent, it's almost as though it's on the customer to speak up. It's on the customer to sound a certain way. It's on the customer, because guess what? You in my place. You in my place of business. Go ahead.
So real quick, how did that make you feel as a customer, knowing you already paying $300 down deposit? You still don't even know how much it's going to cost you because she told you it's going to be per hour. Now you get to the spot and on the outside it look good, but you get inside and the energy is just completely off. It's 9 a.m. And so are you already starting to lose confidence in what she can potentially even do? Or like, what are you thinking at this time?
Well, the thing is, I knew what the product would look like because, again, based on what was recommended, and I
But that's
saw
pictures.
somebody. Yeah, it was pictures, right? Yeah, so I saw what it would look like, but the problem was, the problem what I just had that I had the biggest gripe with was if I would be able to make it to my thing on time,
Okay.
because based on what was said before, I was not aware that attachment will take from 9:30 to 8 p.m. at the night. Mind you, already had said something. So eventually I even went back in the text, right? I even went back in the text to see what was or wasn't said or wasn't described fully, right? Because whilst I was there in the conversations, it was brought up that, hey, I know you gotta be out soon. I know that you gotta leave here soon. So which made me know that you as a stylist know that I have to leave here before a certain time because you are the one who brought it up. I never brought it up one bit. And I was feeling so, I guess maybe this is just my personality regardless. I was feeling so um uh closed in, like, should I say something, should I not say something? But the fact that you said something yourself as a stylist let me know that you know that I know that I gotta be somewhere, right? And
But
you
see,
bringing
here's
that
the
up.
thing, even with a stylist should be able to, in the consultation, one, gather, okay, how long is this going to take me? And also be able to give you a roundabout price. You know what I'm saying? And so she should already know when you got there, knowing the time that you had to be out, say to herself, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to make that time, if I'm honest. If we go over the time, how's that going to impact you? Should we just like reschedule? Like, That's more professional than to just start doing ahead and just assume like, all right, well, whenever I get done, I get done.
And you see that was the next thing. That was the next thing because um let's say it was approaching like I don't know, like it was approaching like 5 or 6 or so, and I end up asking her. I was like, "Hey, I see that's kind of getting late. Do you think that I should push back my appointment before the time is done? Should I push back my reservation so that I can make the reservation?" I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, but based on what you're telling me, it sounded as though you're unsure that you would be able to even finish my hair right now anyway. So talk to me. She's like, well, yeah, yeah. I was like, you know what? I made a judgment call. I was like, you know what? Just for me to make it on time, let me make a call and push it back just in case. Because mind you, I ain't even. This is my. This is me going to a birthday celebration that I told you about anyway. So I say, hey, I need to go home, probably take a shower, put on my clothes, suit and tie and stuff. So I have to go back home and stuff. So I made the judgment call. I called them. Whilst on the phone, I was like, hey, how long do you think? How long you think this part? Because I remember looking up and it just had the upper part to be done. So I was saying, hey, how long the upper part would you think it would take? I'm not asking for like an exact time, but I'm
Yeah.
asking, hey, does it make sense? Because people already push back. I'm going to push back the time. Everybody agreed, but everybody still needs to know how long about how long it's going to take for you to get where we at and stuff, right? So because from my place, because again where we at right now, it would take a little bit more, but from my place, which is 12 minutes away from their place, it would take about 20 minutes to get to the dinner and everything. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm on the phone now with the reservation people, and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to push back this reservation, blah, blah. And it was like, all right, so how long? Well, to what time? So I was like, hey, do you know what time you think I can push it back to? I don't know. It's just going to take as long as it's going to take.
How do
So
you respond to a paying client like that, though?
this is me in the chat. This is me, right? This is me. This is me. Mind you,
So
the
was it
conversation.
attitude? Was it like attitude, or it just was kind of like matter of fact?
No, it was not. I wouldn't. It wasn't attitude. It was just like I just don't know. Now, mind you, in my head, I'm like, is this your first dreads that you're doing? Like you or your attachment? Like you kind of have to, kind of, what I mean? Like, give me a rough estimation. Half
2
hour,
hours, 3.
2 hours, an hour. Get yourself a little cushion so that when it is you do it and you finish it before time, you can say, hey, I speed it up. Lie to me. Lie to me now or something. Lie to me nicely or something. So, she wasn't able to really give me a kind of estimation. So I made a judgment call and I was like pushing it back as late as possible. So the latest time that I could have gotten it was, I think it was like 8:45 or something like that. Because I think the kitchen closed off at 9. I think it was like 9 or, yeah, 9. 9, no. The kitchen closed off like 9:45. I believe so, right? So I was like, all right, bet. That's cool. So mind you, so that's the other part I didn't get clarified, right? So okay, cool. So now the other part is because the person is a kind of shorter person, I have to go down into the chair like this, and the person has to get on top. And I was like, oh, my back was killing me. So in my head is like, why don't you get a stool to stand on to get into that person's head? Because at some point, the lower level in terms of what you're asking people to do, it mightn't actually work. If you know what I'm saying. Because let's say if I'm 6'2", there's only but so much I can go down before I'm on the ground, right? So at some point you gotta put on your big girl pants, get on a stool and do your thing because it's going to at some point not be feasible for the person to get into the chair. Much less if I was an older lady or a little kid or whatever the kid. Well, no, if I was a little kid, you got me. But if I was an older person and I get him down into the chair at some point, the person's back is going to hurt and all this kind of stuff. People who got this scoliosis and stuff like that, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what the people dealing with. Again, it's not like you're treating the client as though they are priority. It's almost as though you're treating the money like if it's the priority. And that's what I was starting to feel like at this point. It was just making me feel as though, hey, look, I wasn't really gaining much because it's like I just feel as though like I was giving away in terms of the money, the attention, whatever. And because it felt like you didn't want to lose, not the client, you didn't want to lose the money that you was getting, not the client. Because had you told me all of this before, I would have just been like, let's keep it for this Sunday, let's keep it for this day, let's keep it for that day, whatever. Go ahead.
Pause really quick because I remember you telling me that she's not even a full-time stylist.
Correct. She has other things going on or whatever, which is fine. That's fine.
It's fine,
But
but it also kind of speaks to when a lot of stylists aren't like kind of laser focused in on I'm a stylist and this is what I do.
and
I
that's what
think
you
it
do,
also
yeah.
lends to the type of experience that you may get because this is not really like I feel like stylists who are passionate and they actually love it, like they put their all into it, and that's why their businesses grow. Versus a stylist that's just like, oh, well, I do this and I do that and I do that. It's just like you are just kind of like money. It's more transactional. I'm not saying that for all because I was a stylist at one point in time where I was in nursing school. I was working at a
You was
group
doing
home.
nursing.
You know I was a nurse.
I you can't take care of nobody. I know.
But no, so before I opened the salon, I went to nursing school, and during that time I was going to school from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then I would come home and I would braid from like 3 to like around 9-10 o'clock, and then I would go to my nighttime job, which was a group home where I had to wake up. Like I went over there, I wasn't supposed to sleep, but I was sleeping. And then I would wake up past meds, and then I would drive home real quick, get dressed, and then go to school. And so I understand there are times and seasons of stylists where they are divided in their pursuits, all the things. But then there comes a point in time where, like, if you want to see growth as a stylist, you have to lock in. But I'm only bringing it up to say that I think that when a stylist is kind of just like in between, the focus may not be there. So the heart may not even be in it.
I feel it. Because the other part is like the other person is well, we didn't receive the other part. So it was actually two stylists that did my hair.
Oh, snap. I ain't get this part. Okay.
Oh yeah.
At what point did the second stylist get on your head?
7 p.m.
10 p.m.?
No, 7.
Okay. So you've been there since 9:30 a.m.
Yeah, scratching my leg and all kind of stuff. So I reached
I
out
don't
like 7.
I don't know why at that point I would have just been like, you know what, just do my perimeter and I'll just leave my hair out and I'll put it up in a bun and I'll come back.
Hell no. They already got my money. What you talking about? They have my money already. You talking about what you talking about?
Nah, I would have paid everything if everything had been completed.
You see, and I think this, and again, I think this is with just me. I am not a confrontational kind of person, and I don't know. Again, I don't know if this would have happened to a regular American speaker or a regular Houstonian or whatever. But I'm a person of like, I come in, hey, bring in that energy. Hey, what's up? How you going? Da, 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 da. Like I was just always just full of energy and stuff. But it's like I just didn't like. I am not the back up. I'm not the kind of person to be like. I can see things, I can peep things, but I just won't bring it up. I just be like, all right, maybe that person think, whatever, as long as it gets done. At this point in time, I was debating which was more important, getting the hair done or embarrassing. Not embarrassing. I would say like standing up the people and them who actually showed up from a little birthday celebration kind of thing, right? I mean, my hair was more important. No lie, no lie, no lie, no lie. No. It's just because it's like if I had left, right, my hair would have just been halfway done, and I would have like the whole day was just crap because I would have felt like icky because this is the other part because this was the only day that they had free, which goes back to your point where other things is the main point and the here is the backup or side hustle mentality. So with me, it's just that the hair would get done whenever the hair get done, and it's no telling that this person would have been free the next day or for the whole week or for the week after. It's just like whenever they are free, then they run on the side. So the business itself wasn't a consistent thing, at least from the way that it was projected to me. Because there are times when I try to say, hey, how about Tuesday? How about this day? The most days that they are always free is on the Sunday. And it just so happened that I messaged because the plan was that I needed to message beforehand to find out, hey, in case plans change, are you free on this day that the person was supposed to hit me back? They never hit me back. So I was the one who followed up on the Thursday to find out, hey, the Thursday of the next week after we initially spoke. So I was the one who followed up because they were supposed to follow up throughout that whole week to let me know, hey, this changed, this day open or whatever. So because it didn't hit me back, I assumed that it didn't open up. So I just was like, when I talked to them, I was like talking about the future in terms of I don't expect anything to probably happen this weekend, but maybe in the next weekend or whatever. I just reintroducing myself so that we can plan for the future or whatever. Turns out that the Thursday that I texted them or her or the business, the Saturday was free, and that was like a fly by night thing. Like if I hadn't texted, I wouldn't have found out that I needed. Like I could have done it on the Saturday because again, they were supposed to let me know, right? So going back to the two hairstylist operation thing. So so when she was done because I mean she was there on her legs whole day, that whatever, cool. Right. This was like done like around like 7. Oh, back up a little bit. I was asking her. So when I was initially putting in to try to push back the time, I was asking also, how long will it take for you? But then how long would it take for because that would just be the reattachment, but how long would it take for the retwist itself? Because at this point it's just reattachment, but it's no style, it's just reattachment. Say, all right, how long that would take? Again, she was like, well, my colleague or whatever will take just as long as she takes. So I'm like, well, you don't know how long she takes? Well, she takes as long as she takes. Like, this is conversations that you need to go and talk to her to say, do. Feel us here, figure it out, blah, blah, blah. See how I'm doing this. See if I put this, I don't know. Like, these are things that you're supposed to talk about. Anyway, cool. So she about to start my hair now. So the music dials down. So I'm like, whew. All right, I get a little break from Boosie. Right? I got a little break from whoever, little this, little that, little Duke, little this, King Vaughn. I got a break from all of them. All right, cool. I said, whew, all right. In between, I had to stand up to a stand up, and I was like, all right, let me take a little rest and things. So I stand up and think. So the new stylist comes in now, and she's like, it's almost as though I felt like she was just ready to be done. She was just like, why he's still in my place? That's what it felt like. Why he's still in my place, kind of thing. So why I say that is because the person who I met before, in terms of when I walked into the place and I introduced myself, blah blah blah, it was so cheery, so this and that. When it was coming, because I was the only client for the whole. Well, I was the longest client for the day. I wouldn't say the only client, but I was the longest client for the whole day. Right?
Oh, so there's other people getting their hair done.
One other person got their hair done, and that person came in, gone. But
by the other person.
By the other person. The other person just came to, I think, just retwist or something like that. So I was like, all right, cool. So she comes to do the retwisting and stuff. So I'm asking her how long it would take. I think she gave me an estimate between 20 to like 30 minutes or so. I think that's what she told me. But going back to the music part, so I thinking, well, there's an incident that happened, not an incident, but there's something that happened earlier where she was playing her music whilst the big set of music was playing, and she was playing through her phone. So I thinking, well, maybe this person wants to play their music and it's more softer than that. So I was going to Beyonce, and that she blasting that thing in my head too. She take about like 5 minutes to find the Beyonce channel, and that was blasting. That thing was blasting in my head. I was like, here we go again. So this was like 7 p.m. at the night now. So that music is blasting, blasting. I was like, oh my gosh, like, yo, y'all can't give me a little break, bro. And whilst I'm talking to her, as I'm talking, I was like, hey, I was asking her something like, oh, I was asking her about the reattachment, well, the styling process, because she was about to just retwist. And she was like, so what you want to get done? I was like, well, based on what your colleague said, do you want to style it or whatever? Because I don't know. You are the professional supposed to know, can the texture of my hair, due to the reattachment that was just done, do you want to get into doing the whole styling again? She was like, well, you could do whatever you want. I say, well, look, based on the conversation that happened back then, when it is at the consultation, it was a different conversation. Now, I'm telling you that this information here right now that I'm giving you is not necessarily what she told me just now, but that was back in the consultation. So can you figure out, is it safe now that she touched my hair? Is it safe to actually do a style whilst reattaching? Because at this point, I think I was starting to really get a little more aggravated, because how dare you touch my hair without the other person consulting you and telling you what needs to be done? Because at this point, remember, I am trying to get to my appointment at the 9, because I push it back now. It was 7:30. We started at 7, but I push it back to like the 8:45. And I'm trying to get my hair done so I can make it in time, etc. So I'm just kind of boiled up a little bit. So I was like, hey, yada yada yada. And the first thing she's like, oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Speak up, I can't hear you. Your music is blasting. Like, why can't you load? If I'm talking this low, can you not low down your music? Pause the music, something, so that you can hear what it is I'm saying, because I'm not constantly talking at this point. No, I am picking and choosing moments of where the music ducks low so I can kind of talk. And you're like, oh, well, I'm not hearing what it is you're saying. So you gotta I was like, the audacity of you, because I'm actually paying you to actually do it. So why can't you cater to the customer, or just, you know what, play some songs that have no music in it? Oh, not music, no
Lyrics.
words,
Yeah.
no lyrics. Just bring it down low and drop it right there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that music might make you fall asleep. I don't know. But you treated me as though that I was just a dollar on the dime. Like, you ain't treating me as though somebody who's paying to get their hair done. You just treated me as somebody who's, hey, you gotta go. That's what it felt like. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. That's what it felt. I honestly, to tell you the truth, I felt very like I shouldn't be there. That's what it felt like at that point. So I was asking her about, okay, so what about the maintenance? Am I allowed to put my hair up in one? Am I supposed, like, tell me things so that, because when I leave here, I know the only time I'm going to get this information is right now. Because if I leave, you probably just going to boot me out and I'm never going to hear from you all again or something like that. So can you, as you feeling my hair right now, can you tell me what, based on the texture and everything, what can be done? I even provided extra hair samples for them, right? I brought my hair from when it is I first cut my hair when I was 12 years old. I brought that hair. I brought Yes. I brought that here. I had it in a black bag. I brought the hair to show them the texture when it was 12 years old. I brought the dreads of when I cut it when I was in 2020. And then I brought my physical head for you to feel it right now. So you see the transitions and you can feel it out. So I came fully prepared to show you what it is. But it again, maybe this is me just being over prepared. I don't know. But when people come and they project themselves to be something that they're not or whatever, like, point is, the vibe that I got from when we had done the consultation, it made me feel so comfortable that when it is I got there, it was not
It
what
wasn't that. Yeah.
it was. It wasn't
Yeah.
that, you know. And lastly, I ended up leaving there. So when she put me under the hair dryer thing, whatever. She finished. She did locks really quick. She cleaned it up very quick. So I just hushed my mouth. I told myself I'm not going to talk anymore because apparently every time I ask a question, the music is blasting too loud. You can't hear me. She got to take a pause, go talk to the person, find out what it is I needed to do, blah blah blah. And I just told myself, you know what? I just need to get out. So let me just hurry up. So I just hushed my mouth. I'm gonna figure this thing out on my own. um she was like, yeah, well, come back in the next 3 weeks. Because no, actually, she was telling me come back, like, whenever you want to style it, come back again, like, in the next 2 weeks. I said, well, the person told me that I'm only supposed to do my hair every 3 months or so. So I don't understand how you tell me come back in the next 3 weeks again. So if you're all conducting business together, at least you're supposed to kind of know the interworkings of each other to, even if it is you'll have different opinions on how to style and how to do things or whatever, you kind of need to consult so you could help your friend out so that y'all wouldn't sound like if you're all different
Saying two
and
different things. Yeah.
you're right. So anyway, so point is that ended up happening. I It was 8 p.m. or a little after 8, like 8:10. My ride came and picked me up, and the full stylist came back in after under the dryer. She came back in and she checked the hair. She was like, "All right, cool." So then I asked her, I was like, "Hey, could you shave behind the hair or cut behind here because you cut here?" I said, "So you want me to go here and the back here looking kind of funky, like, And at this point, I don't know where I'm gonna go to get my little markup because again,
But let
I
me
have
ask
to.
you that. Was that already pre-discussed? Like, once I get my lock reattachment, I'm getting a retwist and I want to line up? Like, was
No,
that
no, no,
already a conversation?
no. So what happened was when we came, because originally when we came, like, the hair out on this side here, right, was so out here. I honestly, I thought it was enough. Like, I thought the hair here, because it was so puffy, that I'm thinking that you're gonna add a dread here or whatever the case is, because originally that's where one of the dreads was anyway. So I'm thinking, well, as it grew out more, it's enough. But remember, based on when it is you did your evaluation, you would see how much hair is there. Now you can't, now between me and you can't come and say, well, oh, well, I didn't know. Well, that's your fault because you should have called me in person so you could feel the whole side, the up, the down, so that you would know what needs to happen. So I didn't know when I got there that hair will need to be shaved off and hair will be cleaned on because it's not long enough. But based on what you were telling me, it was good enough from my consultation.
I mean, across the board, it just doesn't sound like it's a thorough and professional, just overall person that's running it. You know what I mean? And I think that this is, and I appreciate you sharing all that, but I think that this is where stylists don't understand how a client experience can actually take place and what they're thinking and feeling. And here it is. You didn't say not a word to them about this experience, but now you're on YouTube talking about the experience. Obviously, you're not blasting them and saying who it is, but it's what stylists don't tend to not understand is that clients are going to talk somewhere. They're going to talk to somebody about their bad experience, oftentimes more than a good experience. And so I really appreciate this because I think that stylists need to be able to hear these experiences so they can check themselves to say, okay, nobody's asking you to be perfect, but understand that you are catering to a clientele. And so I think this also, as you were talking, there were so many thoughts that came to my mind, even when you were saying like, okay, well, what if an older lady comes? Well, earlier before you came on, I was talking about having a client attraction system. And I'm talking about when you attract, you also have to understand what it means to attract and how to attract. And it would be, how do I say this, integral of the stylist that if she's playing trap music while she's doing hair, then she probably need to have trap music on her social media. So then that person, whoever's scrolling, who decides to book with them understands like, oh, this is the vibe that I'm going to have. This is the experience I'm going to have when I go there. But when there's incongruency with how you show up online and the service that you actually offer, this is how you lose clients. This is how you
You know
lose
what?
them.
You know what? So I even also talked to my friend today too, because me and him was talking and stuff, and he was, t- unbeknownst to me, he was like, "Hey, this is how." For when he goes to most places, because he has his hair being done as well too, not any dreads or anything, but because he has like I think like he gets his hair like uh, I don't know how y'all call it, plaits or whatever. It's not dreads, but he gets his
Like
hair
a
done.
box braid.
Yeah, and he said that for him, what he's experienced and what he's known to and see, that is how Houston is.
And I wish
Like,
that we had some Houston stylists in the chat to
like
let us
most,
know
like
because I don't know.
I again, I don't know. You and I don't know, but again, based on what this he said, he was like, "Hey, I've been getting my hair done many a years, and this is what it is. It's nothing new." From so when I telling him that, he's laughing, but he was like, he understands because he's not from the U.S., but he's been here longer than I have in terms of systems and stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, that is technically how they run their things here, thinking everybody love this type of music and they just blasting it and whatever, whatever." And again, and as we and me and him spoke, we say, yo, we love our thing. We love going carnival. We love, you know, going to the clubs and everything. But we, as we always say, as our parents always say, time and place, time and place. And if it is you advertise your business to be a certain way, because when I walk inside, the ambience, as I said, is like, oh my gosh, I'm about to be pampered inside here. Wow, oh my gosh. And then as soon as I make that left, it's like boom, 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 boom. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's 9 a.m. I ain't had no breakfast. I ain't ready for this type of energy. And again, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Not up to the ways of how things go. But again, we are who we represent and we are how we carry ourselves, right? And it's funny. I will leave you with this. It's funny that you're able to give me so much more insight to the artist and the craziness about what. And again, this is no knock. This is I like, because I like broad conversations. Yes, like finding out things through music and who's who and everything. You're able to give me so much information on that person who has no effect on your life. And here you are touching my hair, and you can't even give me a damn insight into, should I lock it, should I style it and stuff. You can give me so much insight beyond Beyonce and Boosie and everything, but you can't tell me nothing about my hair. Now what does that say?
But again, and I hate to say this, I think there's got to be a due diligence with the customer as well as there has to be professionalism with the stylist. And you have to look deep, especially when you're spending a lot of money. And I know you've seen the work and I know you had the consultation. You were kind of caught off guard, right? Because their brand did not match the experience that you were given. But I do think that there are a lot of stylists who do value the client experience. And even, I don't think it matters what city you're in. I think that there are, a large majority of stylists that are not professional, but I also believe that there's a large majority. I don't even know if I'll say a large, but there's some good stylists out there that really understand that this is a service. Now, I don't think that they should cater to the client so much so that they lose who they are. I just think that they need to show up as who they are online and in person so they can attract the ideal clientele. Because they may have some good fits, but they're probably not for children. They're probably not for, senior citizens. Who knows? Maybe they don't even know what their brand really is and what they're even representing. They're just saying, hey, I can do it. This is what I charge. You're gonna come into my environment and this ain't got nothing to do with you. You're gonna get your hair done. Just be quiet and don't say nothing. So I think
But
that
for
these are
9 hours though,
that's
9 hours, like I mean hear me out. 9, I'm saying 9, but I don't even know if it was 9 hours. From 9:30 to 8 p.m.
that's like 11 hours.
You don't even spend that much in the club. Me, I don't even go to the club that long to know, hey, it's time to go. The most I spend in a club is like 3 hours. And like that was headache. That was headache. Mind you, remember, ears close to head, blah blah blah. You're doing this thing or whatever. It's come on now, man. Come on now. Come on.
So
It's only so
pause.
much pound.
So
It's only so much pound.
you
And
don't have
remember,
to tell me.
my hair's tender. My hair's tender.
You don't have to tell me, but were you surprised with the overall price? Because you said that all she really told you was $300 up front and then per hour after that. And then she couldn't even tell you how many hours it was really going to take. So when it came down to paying, were you kind of like just blindsided, or you were just like, okay, you did the math in your
To
head?
be honest with you, that was the one part that I was like relieved in, because I don't know if it just had a cap, because I think, no lie, you see the first stylist, I think, and I mean, this is just a side note or whatever. I think there's one main person who runs it, and she was like the person who kind of following the blueprint. I will say that was one of the kind of feelings I get, because again, that the first person, again, yeah, we may have misunderstandings in terms of what, like how we want to do things and the timing or whatever. But um when I had the first consultation, I think she understood what I was saying, which was, I don't want to basically do something unless I have the full money. However, I don't also want to have to be paying a bill that I don't even know how much it's going to cost by the ending of it. I wouldn't commit to something that I don't know. Much like if I go to a mechanic and the mechanic says, all right, to take out your suspensions, it will be nearly $2,000 or something like that, or change out your suspensions or whatever, and it's going to be 3,000 or whatever. I need to have a kind of ballpark figure. So I don't know one. Now, I don't know if I might be giving a cop out for this, but I don't know if by me saying, well, I don't know if you can, I don't know if you understand my situation, in that, hey, I want to have all the money, but I also don't want to be overcharged per hour, because I really just don't know, because I don't want to be that one client, the one, you know, black client, dreads, fit your profile, to be like, hey, he don't want to pay. No, it's not that I don't want to pay. It's just that I don't want to be blindsided about the price. So anyway, so what she did was, by the end of the day, I think I spent like an additional $400. So everything probably come to like $700
Oh, okay.
for the
Okay.
total experience, right? Now I don't know if there's certain things in the background, because I mean, I didn't really want to, again, there was side conversations that were being had. There were certain things that was happening on the side that I couldn't hear, because that music was blasting, boom, boom, boom. So I couldn't hear what was happening, what was the conversation being had. However, again, I just remember feeling like, hey, we need to move. So I don't know, to be honest, I don't know if part of the conversation was like, hey, you're taking too long on this, blah blah blah. He needs to go, or whatever. Because even when I was leaving, it wasn't like the same person who did the actual not the actual reattachment, but the actual cleanup and retwist and everything. I didn't know that, like when I was leaving, that person was in the chair, just there chilling and just looking at their phone and taking. I was like, "Oh hi, I'm gone. Thanks again." Again, the same way I came is the same way I left. Pleasant. Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Okay,
Yeah.
hi, goodbye, I'm gone. And it's like, I'm thinking that that person is going to come back and be the one to take care of part two, to undo take me out of the dryer, blah, blah, blah. Let me see how the hair is. Let me see my work. It was more like they were interested in the fix up. Like they would do all the little videos and this is how it looked before, this is how it looked after. And it was just for show. You was not really there for this whole like the way how they make it seem is like, hey, we natural hairstylists around here. We like it felt like that, but it wasn't giving that vibes when I actually when I got there. It gave that kind of vibes of, hey, we care for your hair. We but before I reached there, it was giving that vibe. We care for your hair. We care for that natural blackness. You's a king and this and that. That's what it felt like. When I left there, I felt like a pack of nuts. I was like, you know what? Let me just hurry up and go to my little dinner date and feel like I feel like I want to feel like a chosen king. I feel like a chosen
Oh
king
my.
out here, man. Like, yeah, no, I feel
Jamal.
like a pack of nuts.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. Hopefully, it brought a lot of insight to any stylist who was either watching this live or going to watch the replay, because it is important to hear these experiences so they can do a self assessment. So, Jamal, thank you so much for coming on. I do know a stylist in Houston, and I know a former stylist in Houston, so I might be able to send you over some links a little bit later. So I'll let you know
Well,
about
you
that.
you's a bad human being if that's the case. Because now you wanna send me their links after the fact that
You did.
my
You
no
didn't
no
tell
no
me
no
ahead of
lie no
time.
no, no shade, no shade. The hair look good though. The hair look good.
It
The hair
looked
the
good.
hair
You
it
good.
look good. It look good. I
Now
I
the
think
question is, are they gonna stay good? No, I'm just playing.
no no, yours close. Yours close. The question is, do I have to return to what was that? Because when I left, the thing was, hey, in all my years of styling, nobody has had to return to get something redone, basically.
Oh, that's what she
And I
said.
was like,
That was a promise.
baby girl, I hope that is true because I don't ever want to come back. Like in my head, I'm saying like, I don't ever want to have to do this again to be here 3 hours, 10 hours, whatever it takes or whatever. I just want to know that, hey, you see, like I'm counting on your success so that I don't have to do this. This is a once in a lifetime thing. I don't have to do this again, and then I could possibly go to other places to get it done and thing. So and again, I don't know if that is a true metric of saying, hey, do I need to? Because remember, the information I was given to me was you need to do your hair only 3 times a year. That was the information I was given.
That's
Three.
crazy. But
So if
that
that's the
speaks to
case,
how well they did. I don't know. Maybe that's because of like the lock extensions, but 3 times a year is crazy. I don't know why they would have gave you
but
that information.
but that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that was based on the schedule of availability for them, or if it was really based on texture of hair, or I really don't know because I know for my hair, like give my hair like 1 week, it's gonna be frizzy. That's just it. That's it. And that was one of the things I did take away, that there was like, hey, your hair is your hair and your type of hair gonna be frizzy. I was like, all right, hallelujah. I get some information about my hair that's pertaining to me, and the hair is just gonna be frizzy, and that's just how it's gonna be. So nobody can jip me a little bit. But I don't know if y'all jipped me already. But hey, I don't know if y'all just wanted me out the house already. Just get out. Just get out. Like I don't know. But again, I just want to say again, this is not no knock to the people and them who do the hair. Personally, it's just based on You're judging it as a business that you represent or misrepresent that give the customer some other kind of feel, and there should be some kind of warning that it made me feel so small, insignificant that I couldn't even talk to you because the music was up loud to kind of negate certain things that I have to come over here to my friend to say something else or whatever the case is. This is not a knock to anything. It's just, hey, the way that we conduct and the way that we represent ourselves will always be a reflection of our business, unfortunately, whether we meant it or not. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, Jamal. I done been live for 2 hours now, so I need to get off. And I told you I ain't have that much time. You done talk for a whole hour talking about how long my intro was.
an hour? I wasn't even here for an hour. This wasn't even that long. That was even that. I felt like that was like 15 minutes, Dread. Your clock and your clock don't work. My clock work. My clock say it was like 15 minutes.
You
You
are
know.
hilarious. Well, have a good night, Jamal. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. And I'm going to send you that information.
What information? Oh,
Bye.
oh, your people who you were supposed to send me. Okay, okay, I appreciate it. I hope that they're not like 2 hours away. Right? All right, good. I appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you all for joining tonight for Rare Conversations. Again, we covered having a client attraction system to get you to the next level. If you are coming on late, definitely go back, watch the replay, because it is going to help you start to think differently. I also recommend that you watch this total interview because I think it's going to help you to start seeing things that you may not have seen in your business that a client may never tell you, right? And so sometimes you get the memo because your business isn't growing. So go ahead and take a look at that. Also, too, I have, you know what? Where'd it go? I don't even think I have it. But anyway, I have a challenge coming up September 7th through the 9th, helping stylists understand how to market themselves, how to post the content that's going to make you the go-to stylist in your city, and how to build a 10K strategy specific for you to get to the next level. If you're interested in doing that, make sure you go to rareessenceacademy.com/challenge, rareessenceacademy.com/challenge. And I will see you next week. I'm going to be going live every Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. For me, it's 6:30, so I think it's almost midnight for y'all. I don't even know what time it is, but if you're on the East Coast. So I will see you next week. Make sure that you go ahead and put your notifications on. If you haven't subscribed, like, comment, and subscribe. Again, my name is Essence China. I'm signing out for tonight. Y'all be blessed. Have an amazing week. And if you're looking for any spiritual development, personal development, join me on my personal channel, which is Essence China. I do Bible studies every Monday night, which is tomorrow night, and I will be going in live again on my personal channel. So y'all be blessed. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Watch the replay. Peace.